Hello and welcome to We Never Met, the podcast where I have an interesting stranger on every week. And today I have
Katy McHugh.
And where would people know you from? You got you're sporting your shirt right now.
I do. Sip Purr Cat Cafe.
Yeah, which is a really cool and interesting concept. How did it even, so let's explain what the concept is a little bit before we even get into it. So it's a cafe, and then there's kind of like, from my assumption or what I've seen in pictures, like there's a wall that divides it, and then there's like a room full of cats that you can adopt. Yes.
So Sip Purr is divided into two spaces. We have the cafe side and the cat lounge side.
Yeah.
Folks can hang out in the cafe, grab coffee, wine, something to eat, and watch the cats through windows.
Yeah.
Or if they want, they can choose to bring all their goodies into the cat lounge and hang out with adoptable cats.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, it can be fun both ways. You know, watching cats can be fun, you know.
We get a lot of people and cat watchers who just stay in the cafe side and watch.
Yeah. Is the divide, did that have to happen because of like food safety and stuff like that? Like, or is there cafes that have cats just roaming around? Is that okay to do?
Not in the United States.
Okay.
There are overseas.
Okay.
In the United States, for the health code reasons, we have to have it divided. And we actually, not only is Sip Purr divided into two spaces, we have two separate HVAC systems. So there's no exchange of air.
Wow. Where did I come from, first of all? Because it is an interesting idea that I've never seen up until here in Milwaukee.
Yeah. It's totally random.
Yeah.
I'm also a flight attendant. I think I talked to you about that.
Yeah.
I fly for Southwest. And in February of 2017, my husband and kids and I, we were just traveling in Amsterdam, sitting in a cafe, not a cat cafe, just a little restaurant.
Just a regular one this time,
Yes. And a cat, they have house cats there in Europe. So they have cats in restaurants in Europe. No big deal. This cat named Gigi jumped on my lap while I was drinking a glass of wine. And I turned to my husband and said, I just want to open a place where people can drink wine and pet cats. No joke.
That's
no
the
joke.
dream,
The cat's name was Gigi.
Yeah.
We have a drink at Sip Purr named after her on the menu.
Nice.
So I got back to the United States and I was telling one of my girlfriends who lives in Washington, D.C. about my experience with Gigi.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, those cat cafes are opening up all over. And I was like, what?
Really? Yeah.
Seriously, I started making phone calls, started Googling crazy. And
is there a lot of them?
Every major U.S. city has a cat cafe or is getting one. Not all of them are like Sip Purr.
Sure.
Some of them are just kind of more little bigger adoption centers where maybe you can just grab a soda.
Sure.
Or coffee or just hang out with the cats.
Yeah.
And
so it's not like a real legit cafe. It's just kind of like they're...
Not all of them are like that.
Yeah.
Sip Purr is.
Yeah.
But not all of them are like that.
Okay. And did you make a conscious effort then to make it more like both then?
Yes.
Because you wanted that experience for people?
Yes. And being a flight attendant, I was able to travel to lots of different cat cafes while I was writing my business plan and see what worked and what didn't work so well. And taking Milwaukee into consideration, I knew that we needed something more than just a place where you could pet cats. We needed to provide an experience.
Sure. Yeah. And so leading up to like actually opening, how'd you find the location? Why did you decide there? Was it because of like foot traffic and people would see?
That's a funny story too. So while I had this awesome business plan and I had this idea, I was driving around Milwaukee calling numbers on signs and I called the number that was on our location now, which is on the east side.
Yep.
Never heard a word. So a few months later, we are 100% sure we're going to open Sip Purr. We put it out to the press. It comes out a half hour later. I get a message on Twitter saying, hey, I have a really awesome location for you. And I responded, is a landlord cool with the concept?
Yeah.
And he's like, I am the landlord. And it was a match. And that's a spot that we're in right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So did you have to do a lot of renovations to that place to make it what was it before you got there? Was it just a restaurant?
So our location a long time ago, it was part of the Oriental Pharmacy.
Oh.
So we actually have the basement, I think, that housed the Oriental Pharmacy. But before we were there, it was the Eastside Framing Gallery.
Oh.
But it had been empty for a few years and it needed everything.
Oh yeah, I bet. Especially everything. What you wanted to do with it. I'm sure like you had to get all the specifications and stuff.
Yes, everything and then some.
Was that like way more than you thought, or doing like the research and seeing all the things happen? Was it like pretty on standard with what you thought?
It was pretty unstandard. There were a couple hiccups, and mostly because even the city, the building code, the health department, they didn't really 100% know either.
Right.
Until we would get to that spot, and they're like, well, in order to meet code, this has to happen. I guess we got to
do this.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, we're already this much into it. I guess we will do that then.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I guess let's talk about the cafe now. So how many cats do you have currently? Because people can come in there and adopt them.
Yeah, they're all adoptable, except for Nacho and Nero, our two house cats that live there all the time.
Why are they not adoptable? Because are they there to like socialize other cats?
They are. They love people. They love the other cats. They're a really great constant for the new cats that come in to the lounge.
Right.
And they're also a great constant for people who can't have cats who come to Sip and Purr to hang out. They they think of Nacho and Nero as theirs.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of people that are coming regularly, like every week or every other week or whatever?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And we're seeing it more and more now.
Because you guys aren't that old. You guys are what, like a year old almost?
Yes, we just turned a year on June 1st.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes. Yeah. Has the first year been what you expected?
Yes and no. A lot of it I expected and kind of knew there were going to be certain roadblocks based on meeting with other cat cafe owners during the business planning stages. Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, okay, this is one thing I never thought about.
Yeah.
Just like health issues with the cats or nothing major. The social media aspect is way, way more than I ever imagined.
Yeah, because you are huge on social media. Like for a year, like you guys have a ton of followers on Instagram, and people are really responding.
We do, and they watch every move, which is something. It's good and it's bad.
Kind of scary, yeah.
Kind of scary. Yeah. But we have a huge, huge support system, and that's something I never dreamed we'd ever have. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it keeps continuing to grow because, I mean, at this point, you guys have adopted over like, what, 230 cats or more?
We just did 249 last night.
Wow, last night.
249.
I saw on your story, actually, maybe it was last night, there was a cat called Kanga and had no front legs. Is that correct?
Kanga is currently being fostered at my house. She's one of our Doha cats that came in from Doha, Qatar last Tuesday.
Okay.
She will be adoptable. There's a higher, Kanga's meant for a higher power. I can't.
That's
if we have time,
amazing.
I'll tell you this quick story of Kanga.
We have tons of time.
So Kanga, we work with Lakeland Animal Shelter in Elkhorn, who's been using the open cat colony concept for 15 years. So we get our cats from Lakeland.
Sure.
Being a flight attendant, I also have made some connections overseas, and there's just no hope for a lot of these cats.
Yeah.
So I work with a nonprofit in Doha, Qatar, and I've also brought a few in from Cairo.
Yeah.
Kanga is one that in September, when she was 8 months old, she was hit by a car, taken to the vet in Doha by a woman, totally paralyzed. The vet was going to euthanize her, and the woman said, well, let me think about it. I'll come back. Well, the lady never came back. By law there, the vet can't make any type of decision for 6 weeks. So they had to keep this cat. Well, in the meantime, Kanga's back legs started working, and she started eating and drinking on her own.
Oh, wow.
So they couldn't euthanize her because she hops around on her two back legs like a kangaroo.
Yeah.
But she was just going to stay with the vet. In Doha, they don't adopt cats. There just is no hope for them. And the director of the nonprofit that I work with showed me her video, I think it was. And I'm like, I'll take her at Sip and Purr.
Yeah.
And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So she
How do you get cats over here? Do you just like on the plane? They just take?
Yes. So they make the 16, and really the cats coming to us at Sip and Purr, it's really a last resort.
Right.
They've exhausted all their options over there with finding them homes.
Right.
So they make the 16-hour plane ride from Doha to Chicago.
Wow.
And then I pick them up at O'Hare. And they're 100% vetted, vaccinated, microchipped, spayed, neutered. But I bring them to my house for 2 weeks so they can decompress.
Right.
And then they go to Sip and Purr for adoption.
Yeah. And I was watching videos. Yeah, she just hops around.
She's so awesome.
Yeah,
I love her.
Yeah. And you had there was another really big Nala from Cairo. That was like a huge thing on social media. I saw that all the time.
That was another crazy Katy random traveling. I was in Egypt. I was meeting actually with the folks in Doha who I work with, the nonprofit Even Star.
Yeah.
And my son said, I've always wanted to go to Egypt. And so being a flight attendant, we get benefits on other airlines. And we're like, let's go. So we went to Egypt. We're walking around Cairo. Cole sees this teeny little kitten in a pet store all alone. She probably wouldn't have made it another 48 hours if we wouldn't have taken her. Yeah. So, Mom, we can't leave her here. I bought her from the pet store, took her to the vet, snuck her into our hotel room, took her to the vet to get all the required paperwork.
Sure.
And she was just a teeny little kitten, and brought her back to America. I had her for about a month. We fostered her. Okay. And then she got adopted, and now she's in St. Louis.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she's a traveling cat.
She is. She's very, very lucky.
Yeah. So what is the situation with like animals, or I guess cats specifically, over in the Middle East? Is it like, are there just a lot of
there's a ton
cats around?
There's a lot of cats. They don't spay and neuter like we do.
Yeah.
They don't have humane societies like we do. They don't adopt.
Okay. So they're just kind of out
It's
around.
a completely different culture.
Yeah.
It's catching on in Doha. We work with a nonprofit who has a shelter called Pause Qatar, but it's all privately run. There's no government help. It's all, and a lot of it's run by expats who won't be there forever.
Right. Yeah. So how many have you gotten from overseas besides those two?
So I've lost count.
Oh, it's been a lot?
I would say over 20 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Because I think with Nala, it was like, she was so adorable and little and like fluffy. Oh man. I'm surprised that she didn't last very long, I'm assuming, right? Once you put her in there.
We had a ton of interest, and Nala her adoption was all completed and processed before. She never really came to Sip and Purr for adoption. We had a doctor lined up, and then because the public had supported her and followed her journey from the day we met her in Cairo, we did a Nala meet and greet at Sip and Purr that sold out. The first session sold out in like 10 minutes.
She's like a rock star.
So we had to add a second session for folks to come meet her, and just so they could see this little kitty that really captured the heart of Milwaukee.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was hard not to. If you ever look up pictures of her, it's like,
she's so
she's
cute.
just the cutest cat ever. So what is it like from like a customer standpoint? Like, do people come in and then like kind of mingle with the cats, and then is there some cases where they're not really sure if they want to adopt? They go in there and then they're like, well, I'm taking one now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've seen it all. We've seen where folks are like, oh, I'm not a cat person. And all of a sudden they find that bond. And that's what's unique about us, is that the cats aren't in cages. Right. So they're free roaming. So somebody sits down in a chair and this cat jumps on their lap.
Right.
And they kind of just form that bond. And sometimes they adopt, a lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been open for a year, and we've only, and I hate saying only because we are doing amazing work with the cats, but we've only done 250 adoptions, and we've had thousands and thousands of folks come through our doors. Right.
That's still pretty good odds though. I mean, I think that's really good.
It is. Yeah.
And it's just unique. Cause like I was telling you, we have a cat here and we got her from Maddox, and it was like, it's such a different experience because like, it's a lot. I know they have to do what they have to do, but it's a lot sadder. You know what I mean? Because you walk through all of them, you see them in these like tiny little cages, and they're all. I'm like, well, I'll take all of them, I guess. Like, because like I just feel like at least they have more space to roam. But yeah, because it is a different experience. You don't really get to meet the cat.
It is, and at the end of the day, Sip and Purr Cat Cafe is helping form what we would say a more perfect fit. Right. Because people can bring their kids in. They can bring their husband in. They can come back and see this cat. They can see how the cat acts sitting on a sofa next to you.
Exactly.
Sleeping on a bed.
How they are in real life.
Exactly.
Or how they would be in your home. Rather than, getting them fresh out of a cage where they're just going to be like.
And they're just stressed.
Right.
And,
and not comfortable.
Yep.
But yeah, we have, so all of your cats are just like socialized with other cats. And then you can see, obviously if there's kids in, you can see if they're good with kids or not, which is cool.
Yeah.
So how did you get to the point, I'm curious, because it's one thing to have an idea to do it, and it's another thing to completely jump into doing it. So I guess I'm curious, like when you were going around talking to like other owners of like similar establishments, what was like the thing that like triggered you to be like, okay, I actually have to do this now?
That's a really good question. I think I just kept going and going, and kind of maybe thought there was going to be some roadblock that if it wasn't meant to be was going to stop me.
Right.
And that never happened.
Oh, you see, you're just like, well,
and my husband is still saying that to this day too. Yeah, it just kept going, and everything just kind of started working. It did work out.
Yeah.
From the very beginning. Now, has it been perfect and had there been roadblocks? Absolutely. But the main fundamentals, they just all fell into place.
Yeah, which is crazy, you
It's
know.
totally
and now
crazy.
you're a business owner.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally crazy.
Yeah. So I guess my other question too is like, what is your history with adopting animals? Like, have you always been someone who has been interested in adopting not just cats, but do you have dogs?
I have
too?
dogs.
Okay.
Yes, and another story. I'm fostering Hazel. I don't know if you saw Hazel, the puppy from Cairo.
I don't know.
Who I met during the Nala.
Okay. What kind of dog is it?
So Hazel is a Baladi, which is basically an Egyptian street dog. So when I took Nala to the vet to get her required paperwork in Cairo, there was a woman in the vet's office who had just rescued a puppy from the Nile River.
Wow.
Hazel, her name is Hazel. She had been dumped into the Nile River.
Jeez.
And talking about social media, they both work for the Australian embassy, so they're not staying in Cairo. They couldn't keep the puppy.
Yeah.
She said, would you share this puppy and Sip Purr social media and find her a home? And I'm like, sure.
Yeah, of course.
So I did.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of interest, and somebody who was going to adopt her who since fell through, but they started a GoFundMe. So I went over and brought Hazel back May 8th. So Hazel's being fostered at my house and will be adoptable this weekend.
That's cool.
So I do love dogs too.
Yeah. No, and I mean, you could love everything, you know? I mean, so my question is then, is that the first dog that you guys are going to adopt for
Sip Purr? Yes.
Okay.
And really our specialty is cats.
Right.
We did this. It was a story that I was connected to, and she was connected to Nala, and Hazel just pulled at my heartstrings, and it all another thing, it just kind of worked out.
Yeah. That's the problem though I have with animals, is that like they all do. I just like, I feel so bad sometimes because it's just like, I mean, like the stuff you're doing is amazing, you know, obviously, and helping it. And I'm like, man, I really should do more. Like, cause there's so many animals that need help.
You're doing something right now though, just talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I tell people, advocating at, even if you can't bring these animals into your home or foster or donate, just talking about people and educating people is huge.
Right. Yeah. Cause I think people don't even really understand the why you should neuter your cats and stuff like that. And how crazy, because you can let your cat outside if it's not neutered, you know, outdoor cat. You could have tons of babies. They're all out in the streets too now.
Yeah, they should spend the afternoon at a shelter right now.
Yeah.
The shelters they're overrun with kittens right now.
Right now? Specifically now, or just generally?
Yeah, it's that time of year. The shelter that we work with, they would say, oh, there's not really a kitten season. We always have kittens.
Yeah.
But from what I've been hearing, there are a lot. And maybe because we had a warmer winter.
Maybe, yeah.
But there's a ton, every shelter.
Yeah,
I mean, there's tons of kittens. I was at our shelter, that Lakeland, that we work with a few weeks ago, and there was tons and tons of kittens.
That's what I always say to people. I'm just like, if you're living here in Milwaukee or Wisconsin, I would bet $100 that you don't need a breed specific dog to live your life any better.
Anywhere.
Right. Most places. So it's like, if you just go out, there's so many that need to be adopted. Just go adopt one.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't need to go to a breeder and get a dog. Like there's plenty to choose from already.
There are plenty.
There's plenty.
Yeah.
More than plenty.
And even the breed specific, there's a lot of rescues now.
Right. That are breed specific.
There are golden retrievers. I mean, there's tons. You could just go on Pet Finder and probably put a breed in and find a purebred that happens to be in rescue.
Right. And I've never understood that, you know. I know. Just give a dog or a cat that needs a good home a home. Yeah. And then you've done your bit at least.
Yeah.
So where do you see Sip Purr Cafe going? Are you guys going to expand? You could franchise, have a lot of them?
The $1 million question. Yeah. We've been getting that a lot lately.
Which is never crazy because it's only been for a year.
A year, yes. Never say never. Our goal right now, we just got to a year, and it's still very surreal. It feels like it's taken a long time, but then it feels like it flew by in a second.
Right.
We want to keep really building our presence here in the Milwaukee community and doing more community outreach events. We're going to be marching in the Pride Parade on Sunday.
With cats?
With Nero, one of our house cats I was talking about.
He's going to be on a float or something?
Yes, he is.
That's cool.
Yes.
Nice.
Everybody loves Nero.
Yeah.
So just to really keep developing our presence here in the community and get more cats adopted.
Yeah.
You get those numbers even higher.
Yeah. Cause with all that, I mean, there's always more coming in,
There's always more.
It never ends. Are there any that you can't have at your shelter because of certain things?
At Sip Purr?
Yeah.
It really is. We take with the shelter what Lakeland Animal Shelter brings us.
Where are they located? By
They are in Elkhorn.
Okay.
So Walworth County.
Okay.
We've housed well over 250 cats now. And in that whole year, I think we've only had to send 2 back to the shelter that Sip Purr was just not the place for them.
Sure.
And then they went on to get adopted at at Lakeland Animal Shelter.
Yeah.
So really they have a lot of space. It works out.
Yeah.
I think Sip Purr has found the niche with the international rescues.
Yeah.
That's something that I don't think any other cat cafe in America has explored. And a lot of that goes back to my airline background.
Right.
So we like to really keep that going and just, adopting more cats.
Yeah, as many as you can. So why did you initially become a flight attendant?
I wanted to do it. I was like 5 years old.
Was it traveling stuff?
The weird story, just like how I opened Sip Purr. I was on an airplane when I was 5 years old. I think we were going to Orlando.
Yeah.
And I saw this flight attendant. I don't remember her name. And I'm like, I want to do that when I get old.
And then it just stuck.
And I just did it.
Wow.
I've been flying for 20 years.
Okay.
Southwest is actually my 3rd airline.
Okay.
And I'm still flying. I fly very, very part-time.
I was going to say, that's got to be tough
really
now.
Part-time, yeah.
Is it mostly domestic? Because, I mean...
Southwest flies, we go international, like South America, the Caribbean.
Sure.
But we have agreements with other airlines.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm able to go over to Cairo and over to Doha.
But yeah, I mean, it's got to be cool to just go around and experience other places for free. Do you guys get to be there much? Like when you fly to another city or place, do you get to like stay there for a while?
We do sometimes on overnights. And that's how I was able to form Sip Purr's business plan. On my overnights, I go visit a cat cafe. So yeah, we do a little bit, not long, but enough to go check out a cat cafe.
What was the one, I guess, that started it all? Like what? Oh, I guess in that was overseas, but
Gigi,
the
cat Gigi.
Yeah. So was there any other cat cafes that like wowed you that you're like, oh my gosh, like this has to, like in any other cities?
So the first cat cafe that I actually visited and I spent a couple hours with the owner was Purrington's in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, they gotta have a good cat cafe.
They do. The owners just sold the cat cafe and they actually moved to like Memphis or somewhere. But Purrington's is still alive and well under new ownership. So that was the first cat cafe that I actually visited.
Oh, wow.
But I've been to quite a few and really I feel like I've taken what I've seen works, what doesn't work, and really made it Sip Purr.
Yeah.
I mean, of course I'm going to say it's the best, but
yeah.
I get that. We had guests in the cat cafe on Sunday and they're like, I've been to a bunch. This is the best.
Yeah. Is there any stories like that with people who have adopted cats there that you remember? Like any really good stories of adoption?
It's Sip Purr?
Yeah.
Yes. Once you adopt a cat from Sip Purr, you are part of our family. So we always are getting updates. We're always getting tagged on social media. At our anniversary on Saturday night, there was a couple that came in. They haven't been in since, I think, September when they adopted a cat named Roxy, who actually looks like your cat.
Yeah.
And she was just pulling out her phone and showing me these pictures, and she almost had tears in her eyes. And she's like, I can't remember my life without her. I mean, we get that all the time, and there's bad stuff, but that's why we're here.
Right. Does that make you almost want to cry too?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do cry at Sip Purr. It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry.
We just adopted a cat yesterday, Albie, and the cat lounge concierge had to take a second in the back.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is it hard for you? Like, because do you get attached to some of them?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Yeah.
Because there are certain cats, and really it's the ones that you see come in No, I could cry. But it's the ones that you see come in and you're like, you know, the shelter says, you know, at another shelter, this cat would have been euthanized.
Oh, yeah.
It's not considered an adoptable.
Yeah.
And then the cat ends up only doing a 360.
Right.
And gets like 3 applications.
Right. You just got to give it a chance.
You got to give it a chance. And most places don't either have the time or the resources to do that. We do it Sip and Purr.
Right. Yeah. And I think what I liked about getting Eve the most is like, we grew up with cats that we've adopted from the Humane Society and all that stuff. But like, she was like one of the cats where I felt like I had to earn her love.
Yes.
You know? And that made it a little bit better once we got to the point where she was like laying on me and stuff and like all that. And like, it was really comfortable. And, but sometimes they just need a chance to do that.
Totally.
You know? And sometimes you can't do that when you're in a cage. And just most of the day.
No. And a lot of shelters, they're not even given that chance to go to the cage and do that. They're considered unadoptable due to space and a lot of them. Also, another reason we work with Lakeland Animal Shelter is that they are a true no-kill shelter.
Right.
So they give all animals a chance, whether they have medical issues, behavioral issues. And a lot of shelters, they come in sick. You know, by the time a cat gets to a shelter after it's been stray for a couple months, it's probably not healthy.
Right.
And Lakeland Animal Shelter will put that into the cat to get the cat healthy, to get him or her ready for adoption.
So right now, with the cats you have, is there any favorites right now that you want to give a shout out to that people should come and check out?
Casper.
Casper?
Have you been following our Instagram? Have you seen Casper?
Is it kind of like a long haired cat?
That's Sandra D.
Oh, that's what I was looking at.
Her too. She needs a shout out too.
I sent that to my girlfriend and because it looked similar to Eve, and I'm like, I love the long haired ones.
Yep, Sandra D, and she needs one who needs to earn your trust.
Yeah.
But Casper's one who's been with us, I believe, since January, and we call him our grumpy mob boss. If you've been to Sip and Purr, there's a sign on the door because he likes to dodge, get out the door.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a really, really softy at heart.
Yeah.
But he's very vocal. Some folks, think he's mean or crabby. And he just needs someone once he gets out of Sip and Purr and he has his own sofa and has his own people.
Right.
He's a huge love bug.
Yeah. Because I think that's just something that people need to get. I think people who haven't adopted animals, they need to just like realize that how they are is how they are sometimes. You know, like she is she's sleeping right now amazingly. But like when she's up, she is so loud all the time. The loudest cat I've ever met. Just constantly making noise and like just doing stuff. But like that's who she is.
That's who she is. Yeah. And there's a match for everybody.
Right.
Casper isn't the perfect. We had a couple come in last night who saw his picture on Instagram and they wanted a friend for their cat. And we said, well, that's not Casper. They ended up adopting a Sylvester, another cat. But there is a cat for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And cats get a bad rap sometimes, as like grumpy and not social animals. They do. And they're independent, They
are. And they're smart.
Right. Yeah. But they're also very affectionate and sweet too. So definitely check out Sip and Purr if you haven't and go, because you guys have just the ability, it costs like $5 or $8 to go in.
To visit the cat lounge, the cafe site is always first come, first serve with lots of windows to watch the cats. The cat lounge side, it's $8 a person.
Okay.
And then the money goes to help care for the cats until they get adopted.
Yeah.
But we also have Meowie Mondays, so it's $5.
Oh, nice.
And then walk-in Wednesdays. So you can walk in, instead of booking the reservation, you can walk in to visit the cats and it's $5.
Okay.
But definitely make a reservation for the cat lounge when you visit us because the cat lounge fills up.
I bet, yeah.
Yes.
It's sipandpurrmke.com, right? Is that the website?
It's sipandpurr.com.
Oh, you just got Sip and Purr?
The website?
Yeah.
Sipandpurr.com.
Wow, that's good. That's a good domain to snatch up. Is the Instagram Sip and Purr MKE then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. And you guys also do other fun things like yoga with cats?
Every Sunday at 10 o'clock.
Where does that happen, in the room with all the cats? Okay.
Yep.
There must be a lot of space. Is there a lot of space in there?
There is. We configure it different for yoga. So a lot of the furniture gets pushed to the back for that hour.
Yeah.
But every Sunday at 10 o'clock, yoga with cats.
What are the cats? How are the cats when people are doing yoga there?
Yes.
Are they like, some are curious?
Some are like, whatever. They'll stay sitting on their shelf. Some are crawling on the yogis. Some plop down on their mat.
Yeah.
They're all different. But we've done quite a few adoptions from folks that come in to do yoga and they fall in love with the cat during yoga.
There's one like sleeping on someone's back.
On their chest or on their back, and they just can't.
They just can't go. Because you see those, the yoga with goats or whatever is a big thing these days. You see the pictures of the goats on people's backs.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Well, does that happen with cats? Like, they're climbing all over you? Yeah. Well, that's cool. And then you also do, there's one like book club, or is that what it is? We do book club with cats every last Thursday of the month. Okay. And all that information's on sipandpurr.com. That's the one activity that I actually lead. So I lead the book club. Cool. I actually love reading too. Oh, nice. And getting Sip and Purr going, that really fell to the back burner for a long time. Right. But so this is my excuse where I get to read a book. So I lead book club the last Thursday of every month. What kind of books are you into? Well, personally, I like nonfiction. Okay. So I really had to go outside my comfort zone. Totally. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. A lot of them are fiction. Okay. But it's always been really fun. And it's always different people and some regulars. Great group of people, great conversation, very laid back. And yes, the cats like crawl on you and sit on you and grab wine, talk about some cats, talk about books. Yeah, because it must be really nice too for people that maybe, I don't know, maybe their partner is deathly allergic to cats or something. We get that all the time, where they can go in and just see a cat, pet a cat for a while and then leave and not have to worry about it. A lot of families with the kids, the dad is allergic or the mom is allergic. So they bring the kids in to hang out because the kid loves cats. Right. So they bring in the kid to hang out with cats and it just makes their day. Yeah, I bet. Well, definitely go. How long can you stay in there for? As long as you want? An hour. Okay. I was going to say, are some people really going too far with the $8 or just in there like for 4 hours? The cat lounge visits, and you can reserve them this way too at our website. The cat lounge visits are every hour on the hour. Every hour. Okay. Gotcha. And is that all day? All day. We're open every day but Tuesday. Sure. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So definitely go to sipandpurr.com. Check out some. Do you have the cats that are adoptable on the website? We do. The updated ones? Yeah. That's at sipandpurr.com too. Yeah, you can go check out if you want to see any cat specifically. Yeah. Some of them are rock stars. Yeah. As Nala was. But yeah. So what do you look for when you're looking for like that kind of stuff? Like looking for the best homes for animals specifically. Are you trying to base it on their personality with their? We do. We have them fill out an application. We always have them fill out they have to fill out the application. Right. And then because with social media, there is a lot where they see the picture and they want that cat. Right. So that was a requirement for Nala. You had to come into Sip and Purr and let us meet you and apply in person. The same with Hazel. There's a vetting process. I guess it's hard to explain being a flight attendant. I'm also a really good people person. Yeah. And a people reader. Yeah. And so is the staff. I make sure I've hired staff that is just like me, who really catches on to stuff. Right. And then between us, Lakeland Animal Shelter, and then them meeting the cat and us seeing the reaction that the cat has to them and how they get along with the cat, it just kind of gels together. Yeah. And it just kind of goes from there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, and once again, like, I think it's a really cool concept that, they're all kind of roaming around. You can go just like see how they are. Yes, we do have cats at Sip and Purr that Sandra G is one right now, who we know almost like within at least a day that cat needs to be an only cat. Right. They'll be okay here. Right. But going home, that cat will be happier if they're an only cat. Yeah. And that's the beauty of Sip and Purr. I saw Sandra D. She was up on some guy's lap. She loves men. Yeah. So if there's any men, she loves men. Yeah. That's so funny that it's specific. How does she act when like there's females? Does she just not care as much? Sandra D is a cat where it's always on her terms. So she likes to sleep in a bed in the window. And if you bother her, she'll let you know that she's being bothered. Yeah. But when she wants attention, she will just walk over to someone, jump on their lap, and make herself comfortable. Yep. Like she did with that picture on Instagram. Yeah. She loves men. Yeah, that's exactly how Eve is, She'll let you know if you're bothering her. Yep, if you've gone too far. Yeah. She doesn't. She is very quick to let you know. But thanks a lot for being on. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. It's been so fun. Yeah, so Sip and Purr, MKE on Instagram. Yeah, so go to sipandpurr.com. It's all on there. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, great. Yeah. It was a pleasure to meet you. Awesome. Thank you.